Hello and welcome back to another episode of Resining of the Living Dead. It is Froggy Friday, which is a collaborative effort with a number of creators who all do various projects involving frogs. We have our frog mold here, and what we're going to do is some clear resin with drops of acrylic paint in it to see what the results will be. So we have a pair of eyes that we are going to be using some UV resin. This is Miracle Coup UV LED resin and a blacklight flashlight, which will solidify it. So what we're going to start by doing is putting the eyes into the two eye spots, allowing that to harden up with our blacklight, and then once that's done, we're going to mix up our resin, get it poured, and then hit with some colors. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to put some drops of the UV resin into the eye spot, and we'll do one at a time just because it's a little easier to work with. We've marked the eyes with lines to determine where they're going to be when they go in, and then we'll take the back end of our paintbrush and we will get them aligned how I want it. I'm just going to be like that. Then we'll take our blacklight flashlight and shine it through for a moment, and that will allow it to harden up in position. And then we will do the other one. It only takes a few moments to harden up, and it'll keep them from moving around. It'll also give it a nice extra layer of glossiness over top. So we'll do that, and then we'll come around from behind and we will do it as well here. We'll come back around underneath one more time. Some people will use a nail light to do it, and that works too. But I like doing this because it allows me to just work with that one at a time. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take our UV resin again, drop it into the other eye spot, like so. And then drop our eyeball, preferably into the spot for the eye hole, but we're going to turn it around. And what we did was we used a pencil and used the pencil to draw a line where the eye is going to, the slit of the eye is going to be so that the eyes are running vertical. If you wanted to do them sideways and make your frog look a little sleepy, you can do that as well. No right or wrong. You could have them all kind of different directions. Whatever tickles your fancy. So we're just gonna give a little bit from the bottom, and we'll come back above from the top, and hopefully you can see that. Let me move over here. There you go. You can see. We'll just come back around underneath just to make sure that it's solidified. Now we did measure this out in advance. It's about 125 mLs. So what we're going to do is we are going to get our regular 2-part resin mixed together, and then we will get it poured. And at that point, and just make sure I saw like a piece of resin in there. I don't want it in there. See a couple pieces in the toes. You can see that in there. I might need to grab a piece of tape or something to kind of get it out of there. So what we're going to do is let me go get my UV resin, excuse me, my 2-part resin, and get that mixed together, and then we will be right back to begin. See you then. All right, we are back, and we have mixed up our 2-part resin. We actually did a little bit more than what we need, but that's okay because we're going to dome it a little bit. And then what we've done is I've brought out, this is a Dutch Aqua, this is a Provence Sky, those two blues. There's this green, which is called Fuzzy Caterpillar. And then I have this Dragonfly glaze, and it is a, easy for me to read, blue, green, maybe gold shift. And I think what that's going to do is when it sinks, it should allow it to have some sparkliness to it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and pour our resin in, and because it doesn't have any colors, we're just going to pour it right on into the mold and fill this puppy up. Made a little bit more than what we need, but that is quite okay. And I hope we made enough. Come over here to the feet and to this foot. And then up here to this foot. And then over to this foot. We just want to make sure that everywhere has resin in it. Let me see, I think this one needs a little bit up here in this toe. It did. Make sure, it's a little hard for me to see, but I think we're okay here. Do a drop in that one, it'll run back down. We'll be able to clean it up after if we need to. That won't be a problem. All right, so we're going to set that to the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the back end of the paintbrush. It has a dotting tool, a dot on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the working table to clean it off as we go. So we're going to put a little bit onto our brush, our dot, and then we're just going to apply a dot. So I definitely want some in the toe if it comes off, and of course it's not really coming off, so we're going to need a little bit more. And we're going to clean off this brush with every one that we do. And we're going to do this one. Well, this may or may not work. I think it's a little thick, but we're going to keep trying. No good or bad. So we're going to do this toe, and I think we need a little bit of resin in there. And I don't see any in that toe. And then we're going to do this toe. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is definitely going to require a cleanup in the end, but that's okay. And we're going to come down and do this outer toe, and then this toe. And I see where we're going to need a little bit more resin in that foot, and then we're going to do this one. And this one's going to need a little bit in there. And then this one. Alright, so I see where a couple more toes need some resin. And then I think this guy needs it too. Oops. Alright, and then we are going to... Where's my little torch? And I see some bubbles. And then let's see if we can get some drops in here. It's a little thick. It's not coming off of the the dotting tool. Alright, well that one dropped a little bit. May need to get some paint thinners. Alright, well, that is not working with that paint. So let me see if I have something slightly thinner. This one appears to be a little bit thinner, this Deco Art. So let's see if that one works any better. So we're gonna do the other toes. Oh yeah, that one dropped out much better into the toe. So what I may need to do is go and see if I have some more of the Deco Art paint in any of these blues. So let's just do that one. I used to do rock painting and had some vision issues that kind of made it a little bit difficult to do, and it kind of moved over into doing this instead. I'm hoping that when we do this it'll spread, but we'll find out. Where's the toe? Oh, it's got 5 toes on the back, so we got to fix that too. I don't know if you can see, but the part that we did a minute ago in the middle dropped down pretty fast. So maybe we need to wait a little bit longer to have it go. And in the meantime, I'm going to do a couple dots of that because this is certainly thin enough. Well, it was thin enough. The hope was, and you can see that dropped down already. So this is not likely to be a success. So let's just try something different here. Let's see if we can swirl it. And if that drops down, maybe that's what we want. Alright, we're going to get a little bit more of this blue and come around here. The other issue is that the head is not going to get anything. But I think we have an option now for, yeah, that one's too thick, so I'm going to grab another color. And we're going to shake up this green, and let's use this green to go back over the green toes. And then this other one was green. And let's just pull it into the leg. I think that's going to give us a little bit better a result if it starts sinking into the mold. So we'll do here. And we'll do here. That actually might work out nicely. So let's do another green. We had this little toe here that we missed. So we're gonna go here. And then we will go to this toe and draw it down. And then this toe and draw it down. And let's see, we're going to need one more spot of that light blue in the middle, but I think that is going to be good. And I have another idea that we'll try here in a second. And we're going to come back over here to this toe and draw it down. And then this toe and draw it down. And then that fifth toe here that we missed, and draw it down into there. All right. So before I do anything else with the green, let me grab that blue once more. And I want to fix the other toes. We'll put it here, and then we're going to draw it down. And then here, and pull it down as well. It doesn't look like it's sinking. Actually, one part looks like it might be sinking, but that's okay, because I think what we're going to do, put this here and draw him down. I think what we'll do is we're going to take the end of our other end of our paintbrush and dip it and try to go deeper into the mold once we get these toes done. All right, so that foot is good. This one needs to be fixed. You can see the original dropped right to the bottom. And then this one needed to be fixed. And I need a little bit more resin up there on the top. But that, we'll fix that in a moment too. So we're gonna just draw that in. And then this one. All right, so let's take a moment and close this guy up. And let's just see where we may need a little bit more resin on the toes. And I see a couple spots. So we'll do here and here. And there, and here, if we can get that drop to fall. And then this one needed some, see how they look. And that one up here needed some. All right, that's good. That'll drain down, and this one will drain down. It looks like, I think that one of the issues with this mold is that the legs are kind of sloped, and we're just trying to drip that in because it's running out of the mold and into the leg, so we got to make sure that there's enough in here. I don't know if you can see on video how it's running. It's running out of the toes and back down into the legs, so we gotta make sure that we have enough resin up top. There we go. That's nice. This one I think is okay. Put another drop here in this toe. Another drop in this. Another, oh, no, we don't have any on our stick. Another drop in this toe. All right. So what we're gonna do now is let's take our back of our paintbrush here. I'm gonna move them over a little bit. And let's try to get some paint on there and then swirl it in. This one I'm hoping will work. It's very thick. Let's see if it gives us anything when we put it inside there and see what happens. So we're just going to put it in here and then try to swirl it off, and this one's not going to work. This color's not going to work at all. All right, so I'm going to pause the video for a moment and see amongst my acrylic paints if I have any other deco art, and then I will be right back. All right, we're back, and I found a Craft Smart Pool Blue, and it is it's definitely a little thinner. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with that one. So we're going to go ahead and just dip our paintbrush into it, and then we're just going to go into here, and we're just going to try to swirl. And one thing I want to do is I want to make sure I try to get up near the head as well, because that needs some paint in there. And I can see it's kind of levitating in there, so maybe this is going to work. So that was the pool blue. And let's take this light blue. And we're just going to do the same exact thing. We're going to get it on the end of this paintbrush, and we're going to get it in there, and we're going to just swirl it around. And as we're doing that, it's coming off of the paintbrush, and it's leaving itself within the mold. Clean that off. And then let's try our green again. Make sure the lid is on so that we're not wearing the paint. Yeah, see? Look at that. So let's just get that in here. And we'll start here at the back. And we're just going to swirl it in, go up near the head. Nice. I think this is going to look okay now. And we don't want to go all the way to the bottom. It is going to sink some, I think. And then finally, with the last we're going to do, I got green on my fingers. At least this is acrylic ink and not resin. So we got this dragonfly glaze. I'm gonna shake it up real good, and we're gonna really do a lot with this one, because I really want this one to be a lot inside. So we're gonna do the exact same thing. I don't know if you can see the sparkling going on, and let's just bring it up a little bit there. And a little bit here, and a little bit here, and then a little bit here. Right. I think that is going to do for this test. What we are going to do is we're going to pop this into our pressure pot for 24 hours, and then we will see the results and whether it worked or not. We're going to give it one quick spray just to help with any bubbles, and I will see you back in 24 hours. All right, we are back, and we are going to demold our frog and see the results. Wish us luck. It's funny, you can see that the paint did not really dry on the toes. So what we'll do is we'll give them a little cover. We'll get some resin. You can see the paint did not exactly work out as we expected. However, we'll give it a coat of resin just to kind of clean that up. But it's not bad. It's not great, but it is a good attempt. There's no bubbles. You can see, I think had we done it differently, we wouldn't have had this situation, but we can, again, clean that up. The toes came out okay, other than the light blue. It looks like it's just the light blue. The green really didn't have a problem, but the blue did. That said, certainly gives me some ideas for future pours of the frog on another Frog Friday. If you enjoyed watching the video, appreciate hitting that like button. If you hit that subscribe button, you'll be notified of videos as they get released. And hey, it's free, and there's not much free these days. I want to ask you also to take a look at that playlist. It's in the description, and it will take you to a list of other videos of people who are making frogs and frog related items on Froggy Friday. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.